Hello. My name's Lisa. I'm a herbalist. I live 25 minutes southeast of Edmonton, and we're doing a plant walk here on Saturday. So I wanted to formally invite you, and I wanted to give a little tour of just a few of the things we've got in bloom at the moment. So I've got a whole bunch of bedstraw blooming here, and bedstraw is one of those plants, and it's mixed up with some other things here, but bedstraw is one of those plants that's great for lymphatic system. And I love how when you do a cold steep on this plant that it tastes a little bit like clean sheets. And of course I've got a wild rose growing here, and it's really quite hot and dry on this side of my house since it faces south, and so I noticed that this one tends to bloom prolifically earlier than the rest of the roses I have around my house. So you can see this one's kind of coming to the end of its beautifulness. But of course rose is one of those plants that's beautiful for skin care, and the leaves are a little bit astringent, and those petals are emollient, which means good for skin moisture. And also rose tends to help regulate sebum production, which is the natural oils that occur in our skin. Okay. And then down here I've got the alfalfa in bloom. So alfalfa's in the pea family, and similar to nettles, we often use alfalfa for that really deep nutrition, but alfalfa tends to be kind of a cooling herb as opposed to a hot herb like nettles. So this can be a great match if you tend to already be fairly warm constitutionally. Okay, and let's just do a little walk over here. So I've also got the raspberries are blooming now, and when we harvest raspberry leaves, we tend to like to take like the top 3 fresh leaves, and it's quite an astringent herb, and it's most often used for female fertility, and it tends to act on the uterus as a tonic. Okay, and so that's why it's used in preparations for labor. And you notice that astringency when you drink raspberry, because it tends to make your mouth pucker a little. Okay, and we're going to be tasting probably 10 or 15 different plants, and you'll be getting clues from your mouth on the properties of these plants, because how they taste tells us a lot about what those plants do. Okay, and then one of my favorites is this humble white clover that we have here. I live in this little house, and my neighbor cuts my grass because I'm spoiled like that, and he got a little slow, and my yard bloomed with so much clover, and I thought, I'm just gonna harvest some anyways. And that turned out to be like the tastiest of tea, and I always serve it to company, and I've got about 10 flower heads left from last summer that I've just been saving and savoring. And so I'm so glad to see in the last few days that the clover started to bloom again, and I'm really excited to stock up my storage for company. Okay, there's lots of more plants in bloom. The yarrow is starting to come, and yeah, we're going to be talking about lots, and also what I've got in my garden as well, and just everything that's around the acreage here. So it's on Saturday, it's at my house, and we'll be doing a tour of the yard. We'll be talking all about the local edible and medicinal plants we have here, and we'll be heading into the kitchen, and we're going to taste 10 or 15 and really get familiar with them and talk about them and how we use them and how we prepare them in the kitchen. And then we'll be doing like a handful of delicious recipes, and of course there'll be Q&A, so you can bring all your questions and ask, and I hope you can join us. I'm looking forward to it. If you have any questions at all, you just reach out to me, and I'll help you find all the details, and hope to see you soon.